Awesome, awesome. So the question I have for you all is, have you been patched? Have you been patched yet? And I want to also say, before I even get started, if you're here today, it's because someone thought of you. Someone loves you, someone cares about you, and they invited you here because what you're going to see today is nothing short of amazing. I was introduced to this about 6 months ago as I said before, Brendan. And prior to that, I knew nothing about LifeWave. And I'll tell you this real quick about my experience, real quick, and I'll move forward. When I was introduced to LifeWave, I struggled with high sugar. I struggled with high sugar for over 12, 14 years. And when I finally got my patches, I came in at the highest level. I was so impressed and I was so enthused, came in at the highest level. Now, what happened to me may or may not happen to you, but this is my story. So the day I started using the patch, my sugars were at 300. Now, I don't know if anybody know anything about sugar or blood sugar or things of that nature, but it was pretty high. I used the patch about 4 days after using the patch. My sugars came down 75 points. Now, again, anybody that knows anything about blood sugar and things of that nature, that's an amazing feat in and of itself. So I was amazed. I jumped in. I began to tell family, friends, and everyone that would hear me. I began to tell them about the patch, and that's why we're here today. So again, I ask, have you been patched yet? David Smith is the CEO, inventor of this awesome company. So we have to give tremendous accolades to the scientist, the inventor, and the CEO of this amazing company, which is called LifeWave. Mr. Smith, David has over 100, it says 130, but I believe it's closer to 150 patents at this present time. He's the scientist and inventor, as I said before. He specializes in age reversing. In 2008, he focuses attention on stem cell research, which is now why we have this wonderful patch before us right now called X39. And it took about 10 years, $4.5 million for this patch to come on the scene. Now, this is the actual patent. Now, you could be like I was. I actually printed the patent out. That's just me. I did. So if you want to do it, please do. But I want to just highlight this. Embodiments as a result of elevating copper peptides, including activation of stem cells, improvements of energy, elevation, and antioxidants. I don't know if you know what a patent is or how it works, but if you are to get a patent, the product must do what it says the product does. So we would not have a patent on this particular product if it did not do what it says it does. Why X39 stem cells? Well, it's simple. We all know that we're getting older, right? The older we get, the fewer stem cells. I mean, we still have the stem cells, they just start going dormant. So at the age of 30, about half of our stem cells are active. At the age of 60, most of our stem cells have become dormant. So what it is that this particular patch, which is a proprietary form of phototherapy. And if you don't know what phototherapy is, we don't have that kind of time for me to dig into it, but Google it. Patented nanocrystal technology. It's a small quarter-sized patch. And in that patch, there are nanocrystals, salts, and natural things of that nature. Everything is holistic. Everything is natural. It reflects the light from the body. You don't need the sunlight. I mean, it's great to go out and get sunlight. We all know that, right? But you don't need sunlight in order for the patch to activate. So how many know that our bodies are just, we are energetic forces, right? We have energy and light within us. So what that patch does, it takes the light from our bodies, it reflects the light to our bodies, and our stem cells then become active. Those dormant stem cells become active. And it's non-transdermal, which means nothing goes through the skin. There's no medication, no drugs, no stimulants, and it's non-invasive. Just wear the patch 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and let the patch does what it does. Now it says LifeWave at the bottom of the page here, read the small print, LifeWave products not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure, or prevent any diseases or medical conditions. We must say that, okay? What are the benefits? Well, you can read for yourself. Strength, mental clarity, reduce inflammation, restore muscle and skeletal condition, increase stamina, improve sleep. Listen, I told a friend of mine, I hadn't dreamt in, I would say maybe over 30 years. I just didn't dream. If I did dream, I did not remember them. And recently I started using the patch and I'm having multiple dreams a night, right? It's so crazy to me. I'm like, I can't stop the dreams from coming. So I'm definitely getting the improvement of sleep, energy and vitality, improved skin appearance. So some of us are experiencing all of these. Some of us are experiencing some of these. But at the end of the day, the patch works. All you have to do is wear it, and the patch does what it's supposed to do. Now, this is a topography of a 77-year-old woman's brain. 77 years old. Now, we all know that red means danger, right? We stop at a stoplight, that means don't go. And we dare not go past that stoplight because there's danger ahead. Well, in this, we see red in the first session. 77 years old. Before she started X39, you see session 2, 3 weeks in, you see that the red is totally gone. And after session 3, which is 6 weeks in, we see that her brain is calm. She had a complete turnaround. Now, we can all agree, or I hope we can all agree, that if her brain looked that way at session 1, that means her body had inflammation in it as well. It wasn't just concentrated in her brain, it was more than likely throughout the body. But we can see at session 3 how the body is now calm. And she wore this patch again for 6 weeks. So if you can imagine what it could do for a 77-year-old woman, what it could do for you at all ages. These are the long-term results per our case studies. This is itinfo.com. So if you want additional information, please visit thisisinfo.com. But this is what we've noticed. And I love that Greg says this. If anybody knows about red wine, and I don't drink, but anybody knows about red wine, they say that, it resets a couple of genes, right? Maybe 2 to 4 genes. This resets 4,000 genes in your body in the first few days. It begins to reset 4,000 genes. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. That is amazing, totally amazing. And within 3 months, your collagen is increased. Now, as a man, I never really knew this. I always thought about collagen being something, that women would be interested in. It helps the skin, it's all smooth and things of that nature. But do we all know that collagen is throughout our body? It's throughout our body everywhere. So within 3 months, your collagen is increased. Within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. We have testimonies of people who've gone to their doctors, and after tests, the doctors have said to them, your heart looks about 8 to 10 years younger. And it's because they've been on the patch for an extended period of time. Now, it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. This is what our founder, our CEO, our inventor, David Schmidt says. How to wear it. To be totally honest with you, you can wear it anywhere on the body and it works. But for the purpose of the patent purpose, we had to do case studies, and the patches had to be worn in certain areas. As you see here, first one is underneath the navel. The second one you see on the C7 behind the neck. So that's where the case studies were focused. But what we found out is you can wear the patch anywhere and the patch works. So you wear the patch for 12 hours on, take it off 12 hours later to allow your body to repair and rejuvenate. I normally put my patch on around 10 or 11 in the morning, and I take it off around 10 or 11 at night. Give it 12 hours a day. Please do that. Then throw the patch away. Put a new patch on the next day. So it's called wash, rinse, and repeat. You can wear more than one patch at one time, but it's not necessary. But you are allowed, or you can wear more than one patch at a time. Drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of water, and not just your regular purified water. Drink water with minerals. We have your spring water. There's a salt, a Celtic salt you could add to your waters. There are so many things that you can add that can help with the minerals in the water. So those mineral waters can help. The patch does what it does. So it helps the body absorb the energy, absorb the patches information that is given throughout the body, and it simply works. All you have to do is wear the patch. Okay. Now, X39 is so sophisticated, yet so simple to explain. And I've explained to you, and I've given you kind of a broad view. And this is not a training session. This is more of an overview because we want you all to get it. We want you all to understand what you have at your fingertips, what we have in this company as LifeWave. So what I would like to do right now, we would like to call one of the testimonials up, a live testimonial that's going to let us know what the patch has done for them, give us their testimonial, and we'd be glad to hear from it. So, Greg, would you like to take the first testimonial and I'll take the second one?
So you're asking me to give my testimony, is that correct?
No, I believe Manna said you all had one.
Oh,
If not, I do have a testimony.
okay. I'm sorry. Oh, so I apologize. We were trying to find a video. We had a video that Ken sent us, and we could not find it. I apologize. So I'm going to hand it back over to you. So I
Okay,
miscommunicated
great.
here. So we were trying to find that, so we didn't have that. Apologize. So go ahead with yours, and if we can find it in a second, we'll share it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. Well, what I would like to do, I would love to call up this next person that's going to give you her testimonial. And once you hear it, it tugs at your heart. At least it tugged at mine. And I would like to call her up right now, Shamika Davis. Shamika, can you unmute yourself and give your testimony, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you?
Good afternoon, Shamika.
My testimony is about the X39 that came in just, it gave such a great results for my son. I have a 6-year-old son. He has he's on the autism spectrum. He have ADHD. He has so many different things that we were dealing with. He has seizure disorder. As I said before, he's 6 years old. My brother came home and, Gary came and was like, listen, try these patches, one for you, a sleeve for you, a sleeve for Josiah. And I said, okay. And I was at my wit end because he was getting phone calls every day in the principal office every day with behavior, ODD, everything you could think of, he was diagnosed with. And I remember saying, okay, it got to be something to help him. And then the X39 was introduced to me. I started putting him on the X39 back in May. And when I put the patch on, I noticed that he was able to focus. I noticed he was able to articulate. I noticed he was able to learn. And the teachers was calling saying, what are you doing different? Josiah is doing great, his behavior. And then I noticed that there was no more the seizures had ceased. He hadn't had a seizure since I patched him back in May. I went to the neurologist. I took him to the neurologist and she was like, okay, how is he doing? And she was like, you haven't called me. I noticed that I haven't gotten a call from you. And I was like, no, because he's been doing great. And she asked me, what happened? What did you do different? And I told her I started putting him on this patch every day, 12 hours a day. I put him on the patch. He's writing, it was like just a complete turnaround for his behavior, for his seizure disorder. His grades are great in school. And it's just been a blessing since he's started the X39. Not only him, because like I mentioned, I got 2 sleeves, one for him and one for myself. And even with myself, when I start patching myself, I suffer, when they say about the heart health, I suffer from AFib. So I've been dealing with AFib for 24 years. Since I patched, my heart rate have not gone up. It's been wonderful that I have not had to deal with AFib or go to the emergency room or anything like that because I've been stable with my heart. And just putting it on 12 hours a day, staying hydrated, it's been a blessing for me and my family. So that's my testimony. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamika. That's an awesome testimony. I really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, Greg, I have one more short testimony and I'll call that person up as well. And
Absolutely.
Austin, and I believe Austin is in an area right now where he's not able to come on camera, but Austin, if you would, I would love for you to give your testimony.
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine, Austin.
Yeah,
Got
I
you.
wanted to definitely thank you for giving me this opportunity because I joined right around the same time, May. And real quick, I've been struggling with chronic back pain from an injury I sustained 30 years ago, and it's just been nonstop for me at the time. And when I got introduced to the patch, you know, I was told to kind
Austin, unmute yourself,
Yeah, I
Austin.
apologize. We were trying to mute someone else, muted you by
of,
accident.
okay. So I don't know where you guys muted me at, but anyway, I think I was talking about getting introduced to the patch. So when I started wearing the patch, I didn't notice anything. Let me just say it that way. I wasn't skeptical about saying the patch is not going to work, but I was wanting the patch to work on my pain, right? But what happened was, I think the patch does what it's going to do. It's going to stimulate stem cells. Those stem cells going to go other areas that's needed the most repair. But I was thinking it should be my back. Maybe it's the stress levels. Anyway, cut the long story short, about 15 days of wearing the patch, guys, when I tell you no exaggeration, I woke up for the first time, because normally when I wake up, I'm in pain level at least 8 or 9, no exaggeration. And that one particular morning, I woke up with absolutely no pain. And I was like, wait a minute, I must be dreaming. I started wiggling my body and trying to see if I can make myself, you know, in pain. I know it sounds weird, but literally in 15 days of wearing the patch, and now, like I said, this is back in June, I think it was at that time, and this is now November, and I'm waking up every morning with no back pain. And I tell you, it's no exaggeration, it's no persima, it's no falseness in this. This is real. I'm a living example that this patch is doing amazing work, because again, it's not the patch is healing, my body is healing from the inflammation, I think that Gary mentioned about one of the things that it does. So I just wanted to share that. Along, and also I'm like, I had floaters in my eyes, they're gone. So a lot of different things I'm starting to pay close attention to. You know, that basically is doing a lot of amazing things. So that's kind of my testimony real quick.
Thank you, Austin. I really appreciate it. Austin and Shamika. Those are some of the most amazing testimonies. And I am so happy to hear the testimonies. And I hope that what you heard, it resonates in you. Austin, I had to stay on top of Austin. I just kept telling him to wear the patch, wear the patch, wear the patch. And when he did call to tell me he was no longer in pain, it was like, wow, that was just amazing to hear. And my sister as well with my nephew, amazing testimonies. So thank you two again for giving us your testimonies, and I'll continue to go on. So real quick, these are just a few photos that we've shown before. We have a before and after of a gentleman with vitiligo. 3 months in, you can see the difference. You see a young lady at the left, bottom left of the screen. You have 3 months and she had Bell's palsy. You see the difference. You see someone in the middle there, 10 days of psoriasis before, 10 days later. You see another one with 12 days with getting some type of stitches, and 12 days later, you see the difference. We also see someone day one, it seems to be poor blood circulation. You see they have the patch directly on the affected area. You see 5 days later, you see the difference. Day one over here to the right, you see someone who has, it looks like water retention and swollen ankles. And you also see the after pictures. We also have some of the athletes that we've seen that we know of that are on the patch: Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, David Beckham, Lorenzo. So with that, and I'm kind of just moving forward, but with that, I said earlier that we wanted more information. This is at info.com. On that page, you have as much information as you'll ever need. You have several videos on that particular page that's going to tell you about the science of the patch. We also have a testimonial tab there where you can click on the testimonies and you can see maybe hundreds of testimonies of people who have testimonies similar to what you've heard today. Now, real quick about the LifeWave, the company itself. It's a 20-year-old company. Steve and Gina likes to call it a 20-year-old startup, right? So it went from a $20 million a year company. Now I believe we are forecast to make about 600 million by the end of the year. But you see just the growth, the immense growth of the company. We operate in over 75 countries. It's not a Me Too product. Now, if you don't know what that means, let me explain to you. There are so many companies out there, so many opportunities that they are Me Too. Lotions, potions, pills, all kind of things. So this is not that. This is a patented wearable technology that nobody else has. And if I'm not mistaken, we have about 16 years left on this patent that nobody else can come in and do what we're doing. So if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what does. All right. So we also want you to know that LifeWave is ranked the #1 momentum company. And this is per businessforhome.org. If you don't believe it, type it in yourself and go check it out. Businessforhome.org shows that LifeWave is now ranked the #1 momentum company. Now, this is the part that I really, really want to emphasize to you. What is the most important thing in your life? Is it family? Is it time? Is it freedom? What is the most important thing in your life? And I guarantee any of those things that are listed here that should resonate in you, LifeWave has the answer. LifeWave has the answer is if it's family, if it's your time, if it's your freedom, if it's less debt, LifeWave is here for you. And I want to just go into this real quickly. We don't have the time to dig deep into this, but I want to give you kind of an overall view of what this means. So we have here what we call our compensation plan. The wonderful thing about LifeWave is that all it takes is 2 legs, your left leg and your right leg. And when you're able to find 4 individuals who want to help others like yourself or like myself, I was able to reach this particular position in about 3 weeks. So we get 2 people on your left, 2 people on your right. They come in as a minimum of a core membership. We'll explain that a little bit later. And once you build your organization, you can earn up to $25,000 per week. Per week. I want that to sink in. $25,000 per week. Now, let me clarify something, because one thing I believe in is being very transparent. Do not think that when you come into this company the next day, you're going to make $25,000 per week. That is not the way it works. There is some time and commitment that's needed. You need to put effort. You need to build your organization and do as our mentors tell us to do. And when we do that over a period of time, you can earn up to $25,000 per week. And this is only one of the ways that we make money. I want to make sure that's understood. This is only one of the compensation ways that LifeWave pays us. Now, this is even more exciting. We have what we call matching bonuses. What does that mean, Gary? I'm glad you asked. So the first way, we're building 2 legs, right? Left leg and right leg. This particular way is even more exciting than that, because you can make more than $25,000 per week on this particular payment plan. So what this does is first, second, and third levels, as you see there. Your first level means that if I was the one to sponsor Greg in, that's really wishing there, right? If I had sponsored Greg in, whatever Greg makes, the company would then compensate me 25% of whatever Greg makes. So if Greg made, let's just use a simple number. If Greg made $5,000 that particular week, then the company would pay me what? $1,250. They're paying me 25% of what Greg made. Now imagine this. You saw that first plan where people are making up to 25K. What if Greg made 25K that week? What would the company pay me? Well, I tell you, it would be a lot of money, right? That would be exciting in and of itself, that I would make 25% of whatever Greg makes. Now, let's say if Greg sponsors someone into the company, whatever that person made, the company would then pay me 20%. So you understand why this is exciting, and you understand why you can make more than 25K per week. Now, that person that comes in under Greg brings someone in as well. Guess what? I'm making 20% of what they're making as well. So now you understand how this can go from a 25,000 per week cap to unlimited income. This can be unlimited income. So this is another exciting way that the company pays you. So I want you all just to understand we have several ways of being paid. I just went over 2 ways of payments with you. So I want that to sink into your brain, sink into your mind, to understand the immense opportunity that stands before you. Now, this is how you become a brand partner. Now, all of the things I've said to you, everything I've said to you thus up to this point, you should be excited. As I said to you when I initially started my presentation, a gentleman from South Africa named Brendan Duplessis brought this to me. I didn't know Brendan from an apple. I didn't know if he was a con man. I didn't know he was a scammer. I knew nothing about Brendan. But once he explained this to me, I immediately came in at the highest level. Yes, I immediately went and got my credit card and I came in at the highest level. But before I get ahead of myself, let me go back to core. Core, if you decide, core is where you will come in if you really didn't want to do the business. And I shudder to think that anybody doesn't want to do this. But let's say you didn't want to do the business. You just wanted to wear the patches. Then great. You come in at core. You get 3 months of patches. Each sleeve has a 30-day supply. You get 3 months of patches for $295 one-time payment. And then you go on an auto ship of $99 per month thereafter. And that would give you 3 months of sleeves and an auto ship of new sleeves per month. So a new sleeve per month. That is our core. $295 one-time fee, $99 automatic shipment fee after that. Advanced, this is for the person that wants to make money, right? This is for the person that wants to open up the opportunity to make money. This one gives you 6 months of patches. You get 6 sleeves for $535, a one-time fee of $535. It's going to give you 300 personal volumes. We won't get into that right now, but 6 sleeves of X39, and you can then start your business with LifeWave. Now, as I said earlier, this is the one that excited me the most. Premium. You get 20 sleeves. You get enough sleeves for an army. This is where you want to share the information, share the sleeves. If you live near someone, you can give them a sleeve or two until their sleeves arrive. This is for the serious entrepreneur. $1,750. It gets you, again, 20 sleeves of patches. Now, if those of you like myself, you want to save money, instead of paying $99 for each sleeve, you're now paying $87.50 a sleeve if you come in on the premium packet. This is where you're going to accelerate and maximize your LifeWave opportunity with X39. You cannot go wrong. And if you happen to come in on the advanced or the premium, and you come in on a 2-sleeve recurring auto ship, my God, you've simply opened up the floodgates of opportunity to make money with LifeWave. So we are asking you, for those of you who are serious about making money, who are serious about building a team, advanced or premium is for you. For those who just want to stick their big toe in the water to see how, if the water's fine, then core might be for you. And I also want to tell you this: if you come in at core or advanced, you can always upgrade. If you upgrade, you only pay the difference in the packages. So for instance, if you're on the core and you decide to upgrade to advanced, you would pay the difference between the $295 and the $535. You would get the 3 additional sleeves, and you would then be an advanced brand partner. The same with premium. So I hope that everybody understands it. If you don't, please get with the person that invited you. They will be glad to explain this information to you. Again, we have information. You have thisisit.info.com, and we have This Is It Team. This Is It Team is for our brand partners. For those of you that come on as brand partners, you will utilize the thisisitteam.com site for all the information you need to grow your business. For those who just simply want additional information, thisisitinfo.com is the site that you would visit. It will give you more information about the LifeWave X39 opportunity. Now, Greg and Mena, and I'm going to pick on them for a minute, they just came back from an amazing trip to Punta Cana. And what I love about this company, I'm sure Greg and Mena, they're going to speak to us about it and kind of tease us about the wonderful time they had. But this company also sponsors all expense-paid trips throughout the year. As I said, Greg and Mena just returned from one. We have another one coming up, going to Punta Mita. I hope to be on that trip, Greg and Mena. I hope to be on that trip. So this is where you get serious about your dreams. This is hope for your future. Get started with X39 today, please. I don't care what anybody says. I want to research it. I got to look deeper. The patch does what the patch is supposed to do. Will you do what you're supposed to do? Will you spread this opportunity to others you love, to others you come in contact with? You cannot go wrong with X39. And I believe that's it from my side. Greg and Mena, I really appreciate and thank you all so much for allowing me to be the presenter for today. And before I turn it over, I really want to say Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans. We appreciate you. We love you. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Greg and Minna. Thank you very much, Greg and Minna, and welcome back.